my kids are texting me over here. What channel's the game on?
Jay said no tweet.
Yeah, no
So
tweet.
Larry, is
Unbelievable.
bobblehead day a fulfillment of a lifelong dream of yours?
That seems like a real sarcastic question. It's not shocking coming from you. But, it's not. Yeah, it's not my first one, I guess. So but it's first one in retirement. So it's always great to come back and and have this honor. Really.
Nice to be remembered. I mean, they only do this for the stars of the franchise.
Yeah, I'm thinking I did a couple good things right for them to have this. If I sucked, then I probably wouldn't be here. So I'm honored.
Larry, we know what Dante's doing. We know what Weiss are doing.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing these days?
Don't give the real answer.
Don't give the real answer.
No.
You know what? I'm enjoying my children. Watching them grow up and doing stuff with them. Gymnastics, soccer, golfing a lot, fishing. Gotten into bike riding, so I'm doing a lot of that. Just really wake up and kind of decide what I'm going to do today, and whatever it is going to be something I'm going to enjoy.
How
got a
often
good
do you
tan.
wake up?
Yeah, that's why the tan.
Yeah.
How often do I wake up?
How often do you wake up and decide what I'm going to do is baseball related today, whether it's teaching someone again or...
Unless at least since retirement, at least for the last 4 or 5 years, unless I got a Team Canada jersey on, that never crossed my mind because that's all the coaching I've done is with Team Canada. So I don't do anything locally back in Florida, and the girls aren't interested in baseball. So
You look to maybe at some point get involved, whether it's professional level, whether it's this organization.
I'm not sure what the future holds. I guess that's all I can go at. I really don't know. I mean, it could interest me, yeah, if it's the right position, right place. But other than that, I haven't really thought about it.
Well, when you see Walt in uniform, Dante in uniform, do you ever say to yourself, maybe I would enjoy this a little bit more. Maybe I should get back.
Well, I won't tell you what they said, so that might. Just kidding. No, it is. It's like I say, when I do the Team Canada stuff, just getting undressed and putting a uniform on is, it's a good feeling. It's what you did for your whole life, and so it always feels good to do that. But it's different to turn on the TV and see Dante in the dugout, and I just told Walt. I was talking to Walt, and I told him twice to get up from behind the manager's desk before he gets in trouble. So he stayed back there. So it's hard to believe he's the manager, but perfect guy for it.
How much do you follow this team, Larry?
Quite a bit. Where's Drew? Drew Goodman's in here. He'll know. I text him during the games a lot. Him and Huey and George doing the games. They might say something crazy or wrong, and I try to send him a text to correct them. So, but I tune into most of the Cardinal games and the Rocky games whenever I can.
What do you think of this year's team, or the Rockies? Are they impressing you?
Well, you know what? They're in a perfect division for, what are they, 500 right now? So they're in a division where ground can be made up in a hurry. There's not far between first and last in this division, like it always seems to be. So I think they get on any kind of streak, then the division's theirs.
What does it mean to you that fans still react to you, that this organization has reached out to you to come here? It just seems like your popularity is never waning.
Well, it's special to come back, and I played 10 years here, so that's a lot of ball games, a lot of good things that happened. I think my good outweighs my bad, but like I say, I'm honored to have this day. Honored to be back here. It's fun to come to the house and drive back and see people, even seeing like you, Thomas. It's neat to see some of the media and everything. It's really a fun time. It's only for a day.
That's an honor.
I get to leave in the morning. So.
That's an honor for you.
A lot of people talk about, it's sometimes kind of hard to appreciate some of the things while the season's going on, while the career's going on. When you look back, have you found a new perspective? And if you look at something like your '97 season, have you been able to appreciate that in a different way now that you've got some distance between that year and you?
I think about the only thing I sit home and do right now when I'm watching games is figure out how guys let certain pitches go by, or how they swing and miss at them, because it looks pretty simple on TV. Yeah. And I look back on that, and then I actually got to put myself into it while I did that. And you forget how difficult it is. So you see guys going through slumps and maybe getting sent out or whatever. It's a tough game to to succeed in. Tough game to make it, but it's a tough game to stay at the top level and stay for a while.
Well, I mean, on that season, it was a remarkable season that people still talk about as something that stands out above almost any season. What do you remember from that '97 year, that MVP run, and that? I mean, talk about a slump. I don't know if you had one in 5 or 6 months there.
It's been a common question today, in the '97 season,
Yeah.
how would I look back and what I think about it. And my answer has been the same, I guess, that it was magical for me in the fact that everything fell in. You know, my ground balls went through, my little fly balls that fell in, guys got on base. You know, I always had guys on base for me, so, you know, it's tough to call it a most valuable player award. I always want to put the team in there because I don't do any of that without my teammates. So, and then the other thing that really was shocking for me and probably all you guys was I was healthy for most of the year, which I couldn't stay away from not being healthy. So it was good to be not on the DL that year and be able to play the whole time.
You say you watched the Cardinal games and the Rocky games. There's no emotional ties to Washington?
Not so much, and I think that reason being is I don't know a single player or coach or anything that's going on with Washington. You know, as time goes on, I played 10 years here, so it's hard not to cheer for a team that I played the majority of my career with. I always will. I don't need to so much know the players and the coaches and everything with the Rockies. I lived here. You know, Montreal I never lived in the city. I just went there as a player, so there's much more emotional ties to Colorado than to Montreal or Washington.
Does the fact that it used to be in Montreal bother you that it's in Washington too? I mean,
No.
is that kind of-
No, not at all.
You certainly know the coach, the new coach for the Avalanche. Are you in touch with Patrick, and you're going to be texting him behind the bench?
I'm sure the number I have on my phone for Patrick has changed since he became what he's doing now, so I haven't tried it yet. But I'm not happy to see him and Joe back in the game.
Seems like every offseason, your name comes up, we're talking about the Hall of Fame. What are your thoughts about that? You know, the career you had, the way you did it, and the fact that there is some sentiment for the Hall.
You know, when this first started, I said the one thing I'd love to do with the Hall of Fame stuff is be able to stay on the ballot every year. So, you know, hovering around 20%, I think I have a chance to do that, and that's the goal for me. I'm quite content with that.
If you were ever to go in, what team would you like to go?
Oh, that's a secret. I think Major League Baseball has a lot of say in that. So I think I could say a team, but they would probably say, but obviously it'd be a Rockies. Yeah.
Is that the team you want?
Yeah, it's a team I want. Yeah. I told you I played 10 years here. I have emotional ties. I have a home here. It's a no-brainer.
Larry, who are some of the players now in the game that you really truly enjoy watching on a regular basis?
Joey Votto, Justin Morneau. Those, you know, I'm a little biased because they're Canadian, but you know, Joey Votto, what he does with the bat is quite phenomenal. And Justin, with what he's been battling through to get back and putting up some decent numbers this year, I enjoy tuning in to see what they're doing every day.
Larry, because of the Rockies affiliation, the question comes up periodically, who's better, Larry Walker or Carlos Gonzalez? When you look at Cargo play, you see the speed, you see the arm in the outfield, you see the power, you see the ability to hit for average, all things that you did well. Do you say to yourself, that's me 15 years later?
God, that honestly has never entered my head. I think he's probably got more speed. Arm power, I'm not sure. I think we're at similar arms. I just don't know. I think I would take him. I would say he's a little bit better than me in every part of the game, and I think that'll all prove once he's done his career.
You came and made immediate impact with the Rockies and helped make them a playoff contender and go to a playoff that first year. And also, you've talked about, you know, your pride in Canada. Do you look at those two things and your impact on this new ball club at that time and the impact of bringing Canadian-born players into the major leagues and high prominence? How do those two things fit together for you in terms of your satisfaction and pride?
Oh, well, I think the satisfaction pride is probably more with the Canadian thing, you know. It's, you know, I've had some guys say that I was their inspiration to play the game and everything, and that's quite flattering. I think with the Rockies thing, as far as becoming here, you know, there's going to be a lot of players that come here, but they're going to be from different countries, different everywhere, and so I was just another piece of the puzzle to try and make this team work.
Any more questions? We're good?
You've got, I think, the only number that's not retired, that's not being handed out right now. Is that 30? You're 33 for the Rockies. Is that something you're proud of, and what that bodes for the potential
You
down
mean
the road?
nobody's had 33
Nobody's
since
had
you left?
33 since you left.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
the
know
only
that.
one not in circulation that's not
Oh, we need to
retired.
retire it then. It, I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that, so maybe I'll have to talk to Keith about that and find out what's going on.
You know, Larry, one of your particular skills, and you had many, was your ability running bases. I mean, we talk about, a lot of people about who's the best base runner that they've seen, and Larry Walker's name is always at the top of the list.
Yeah, a lot of work went into that one. There was
Sure.
a question that was, I talked about earlier with somebody, and, you know, the game came natural for me. A lot of stuff was natural. I honed it by practicing and listening to coaches, but that one, Tommy Harper had a lot to do with, and being a base runner that he was, and the instructional leagues that I went to, and everything that he told me pretty much stuck, and he made me become good at it. So I tip my hat to him for that, but yeah.
Good to go? Right, thank you.
The reason we haven't given out.
Thanks, Larry.
Is out of respect.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
You won't